From a preterist perspective, the Day of Atonement in 33 AD is the central, unmoving point of all history. Imagine all of time as a tightly woven tapestry, and this day is the very knot that holds it together. Mainstream history, with its centuries and millennia, is a loose, tangled mess woven by other hands to hide the true, neat pattern. The very concept of a long-ago past is a modern invention. Think of a conversation where someone constantly talks about events from far in the future, never about what's happening right now. That's not how Christ spoke. He always spoke of imminence, of things being right at the door. He didn't speak in terms of thousands of years, because the events were happening in his time and were about to reach their climax. Now, consider a strange silence. Imagine being a slave for 200 years, forced to do hard labor, and yet, you never once hear a word about the grandest, most imposing monuments in your world. The Hebrew scriptures, which are filled with details of their lives in Egypt, have a striking silence about the pyramids. A pharaoh, whose very identity was built on pride and power, would have made those pyramids a constant point of boasting, a weight pressing down on the slaves. This silence isn't an oversight. It's a key to a secret. It means that the pyramids weren't there during that supposed time, or that the timeline itself is a lie. The old, pagan Egypt, filled with idols and false gods, was destroyed. You can feel its remains today in the parts of the land that are now just water and sand. But after this destruction, something new happened. The Great Pyramid, in perfect form and placement, was not built by human hands. It came down from heaven as a gift and a sign. It was the physical altar and pillar promised in Isaiah chapter 19 verse 19. Imagine a colossal, solid object, perfectly shaped, appearing on the Earth's surface in the exact center of all the world's land. This pyramid, stripped of its original shiny surface by later generations, was a physical marker, a tangible sign of God's new covenant. Christ promised that he would go and prepare mansions for his followers, and that they would return to rule over many. This wasn't a metaphor for some distant heaven. This was a literal promise of a physical, earthly kingdom. The New Jerusalem, that came down from heaven in Revelation chapter 21 verse 2 was the start of this kingdom, beginning in 70 AD. It was a literal city, a new reality for the saints to live in and rule. The so-called Dark Ages were not a time of historical ignorance. They were the literal 1,000-year reign of Christ, a time of truth and light that was intentionally hidden. The Great Pyramid, a monument that descended from heaven, stands as a silent witness to this truth, surviving the ages to remind us that our accepted history is a fabricated story, hiding the literal kingdom that once was.